the dignitaries to please get on the dais. Thank you so much. So it's already there. So, good morning, everybody. A very momentous occasion for us. Sir, if you remember 3 years back when Nivriti was here, we met with you, and that's where this whole center took kind of seed that day, and was announced a couple of months later. That was 19 December, and a lot has happened in the last 2 years, and 3 of the initiatives are being launched today. So we're all gathered here for that, and good morning, everybody. Very warm welcome. And to get the proceeding started, I request Professor P. J. Narayanan, our director, to welcome the gathering. Sir.
Good morning, particularly to Sri KTR Garu, a good friend of the institute, to Nivriti Roy and others on the Nivriti Rai and others on the stage, and the dignitaries on the attendance here. IIIT Hyderabad is an institution that was facilitated by the state government, but in a model where no funding was given by the state government, only the land and buildings were given. So we call ourselves an institution that is for the larger society, of the larger society, and by the larger society. And that's how we have worked. It's set up in 1998. We will soon be entering our 25th year, and we are planning somewhat gala Silver Jubilee celebration starting this September 2nd, which is our foundation day for about 18 months of Silver Jubilee celebration. In the meanwhile, we adopted a model of research-led education, undergraduate, postgraduate education, but everything focused on research, and have done reasonably well in that. In early years itself, we focused on, somehow AI was a focus area here. Our early research centers were in NLP, computer vision, data engineering, robotics, and that kept going. Academic work kept getting bigger and bigger. And in 2015, TCS Foundation gave us a good amount of money to establish what is called Kohli Center on Intelligent Systems, named after a great man, F.C. Kohli. And the purpose of KCIS was to integrate and coordinate all the AI-related academic activities within the institute. And then we focused on more applied research. This AI and technology is good to have lots of academic research, but how do we get it to the society? And many efforts started on that. In 2020 January, in partnership with Intel and Government of Telangana, we started this entity called IIIT, or Integrating AI for Population Scale Problems. And the activities you see here are part of that effort. Later in 2020, the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber-Physical Systems, of DST, established a technology innovation hub on data-driven technologies here. You will hear more about it later. And earlier this year, we also inaugurated a Raj Reddy Center on Technology and Society. This is how to use technology for the bottom of the pyramid, particularly education and healthcare. So in all these activities in applied research, healthcare, transportation, and education have been our major focus areas, and there are so much to be done in all these also. So we work with government, we work with NGOs, we work with other players on the ground, because we don't know the problems ourselves. We also started the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship back in 2008, and we did very well in Hyderabad, and we were proud to be the seed idea and seed model for the T-Hub, which existed right next to us in this building until 2 weeks ago, and they have far outgrown us, and they have a fabulous building right in the city. I invite all the outside Hyderabad people here to go and take a tour of the T-Hub building, and Sri KTR Garu can be very proud of that. And academic institutions are for academic research as well as this applied research. Academic research looks at many years into the future. The investment or the care we did with AI back in early 2000s is what is making us a strong player in AI today. We are also focusing on other futuristic areas, perhaps quantum computing, social computing, climate science. These are the things that we want to make an impact on. And as I said, we are an institution for the society, of the society, and by the society. We need broad support for this. We have our ways, we have our great team of students and faculty members engaging in all these things. And today you will see some of the fruits of just 3 or 4 projects that being launched today. And if you are interested, you can go around and see many more of the projects. With those words, I welcome you all once again to IIIT and to this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Professor Deva, who heads our IIIT Center, to introduce the activities of the center. Deva?
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to receive all the dignitaries today to launch 3 of the projects we have been working on for a while. So I will quickly, not to take too much time, I'll quickly talk about a couple of things that we have been working on. As Professor P.J. Narayanan mentioned, we have been working on this, the new Applied AI Center IIIT, which is catalyzed by Intel and supported by the government of Telangana, which is situated in the IIIT Hyderabad campus. So shortly after that, we also got sanctioned this Technology Innovation Hub, which is the, one of the hubs under the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber-Physical Systems on Data-Driven Technologies. Right? So one of the larger mandates of the hub is to come up with new data sets. Nowadays we call data the new oil, fuel, and so on, right? So come up with larger data sets that can enable data-driven solutions in different areas. So initially we had taken up 2 major areas. One is the smart mobility, and that was the result of a long collaboration between IIIT Hyderabad and Intel. Now it has become magnitude-wise very big after the iHub had started. Right. So, and then meanwhile, we also started working on collecting data sets related to healthcare. We'll later we will present one of them, and we also work on other areas such as mental and neuro health, where we develop data sets, for example, to look at sleep staging or for rehabilitation of stroke patients. And then the other area of interest is data-driven drug discovery. Given Hyderabad is a hub for pharma companies, and in the last 2 years we see a huge surge in the role of data-driven technologies that play a role in drug discovery, right? So we have taken that up in a major way, and we do collaborate with multiple other industries. Again, today we will showcase some, some of the partners that we have been working with in the 3 projects that we talk about. So I also should mention that Telangana government has been extremely supportive and is a active collaborator, not just supporting us in what we do, but they have been as an active partner. They have been helping us in all of these different ways. We hope to showcase 3 of them today. So with that, I would like to thank you. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Deva. I now request Varma Konala. I mean, Intel is not only supporting us with knowledge and funds and such, has also given 3 amazing people to work with us. And Varma is one of those who's here full time, and along with Professor Deva runs our Applied AI initiatives. Now I request Varma and Rajesh from IGIB to introduce these 3 projects we're going to be launching today. Varma, Rajesh.
Thanks, Ramesh. Dignitaries on the dais, friends and partners. So I'll talk about the 3 projects that we're going to, Minister Garu will launch today. The first one, as PJN and Deva talked, right? The focus of applied AI research is on projects that actually have impact on the society, right? And one of our focus areas is mobility, right? So the first project is called iRaste, right? It's about using AI technology to actually reduce accidents on the road. And we're partnering with TSRTC to do that. And we have 3 major focus vectors. The first one is focused on the drivers, where we actually equip the vehicles, the TSRTC buses, with cameras that are road facing that give alerts to the drivers 2 to 3 seconds before any potential accidents. So it's the first one, right? And the second one, as good the driver is, right, the infrastructure also needs to be good. So we look at all the black spots on the highways and look at how to fix them, come up with detailed engineering fixes. And the third one is what we're calling a gray spot. the black spots are what, you analyze the last 3 years of data and see how many accidents have happened. So they're a lagging indicator of the accidents. Right? What if we can have a leading indicator? So we look at all these alerts that we are getting from all these cameras on the buses, and we do AI and ML on that and come up with what we're calling gray spots, which are potential black spots. So if we can take some action on these things, then we don't have to have accidents and deaths. Right? So these are the 3 major vectors on this project, and if you go to the next one. And also there's one more aspect that we're trying to do here, right? While the ADAS is focused on the road, we're also putting devices on some of the buses where there's a camera looking at the driver. We're doing driver monitoring for any drowsiness, right, or other distractions. So with the combination of these 2 things, right, we hope to have a lot more impact on the accident reduction. And one more thing we're doing in Telangana is focusing on highways. Right? If you see, our highways are only 5% of the network in India, but they contribute to 55% of the accidents. So what we're doing is we're equipping the buses that ply on the highways. Right? So if you see this map, so we already have 14 buses that are equipped. So this is a map of all the routes they have taken over the last 1 month. Right? So if you see, these are all the national highways and state highways. So we're going to focus on reducing the accident rates on the highways. Right? So this is project number 1. Project number 2 is Bodhyan. So this one, as Pijan alluded to, started 5 years ago, where Professor Jawahar and Anbu and others put together what we call an Indian driving data set. This is the first driving data set of Indian driving conditions. Until then, most of the driving data sets were of US, Europe, or Western world. So this has been very good since then. Over the past 5 years, they have put a lot of data sets out there. We have thousands of users out there. But those data sets are mostly based on simple cameras. Now we're going to extend it. So this Bodhyan platform will have not only just regular cameras, LiDAR, radar, and infrared cameras, so that the whole data set will have a lot more dimensions. And not only that, we're making this a platform so that other partners can take this and use their own sensors or use these sensors and do their own data sets. We've been having conversation with GHMC and others so that they can do their own data sets, right? For cleanliness detection automatically, pothole detection, multiple use cases. Right? Second project. Rajesh will talk about the microlabs project.
Good morning, and happy to be sharing what we intend to do under the micro lab. So as the name suggests, it talks about a lab which is micro in nature. So it means that we intend to set up labs which is closer to the samples which require to be investigated. And in this case, we intend to do that investigation using genomic means. So what is the requirement for the day? What we understand in last 2.5 years, much more than before, and that is the importance of whether we can combine 3 P's in terms of putative severity, predicted severity, and whether we can do something which is preventive in nature. So using this setup of microlab, we intend to catch the mutations within the pathogens for their potential disease severity in the future. And how do we intend to do it? So if we go to the next slide. So that's what we want to do, that we want to read the book chapters, which is what is written within the pathogen genomes in terms of how many chapters are there, what are the different lines and what are the different alphabets within that chapter, and that is what the microlab will do. And how do we do this? By a machine which is literally I'm carrying, we can carry in our bag, in our pocket, and that's a nanopore sequencer, and that's what it does in real time. That when we put a DNA template through the machine, which essentially has nanopores, and they will pass through that nanopores, and it will be sequenced in real time based on what? Based on the electrical differences of the bases passing through that. And that's what we are going to implement it here. And next slide, please. And the additional advantage is that we can do many more samples together. And if we just go click on it, how do? We index many things together. So all of us here, we are wearing, say for example, different color of shirts. And that's what essentially we will do if we want to know what potential bacteria we may have. We will mix them and we will label them with something unique to each of them, pull them together, sequence them, And again, after sequencing, we will differentiate the different colors based on the indexes which we have done. And once we complete all of this, that's what we will do. And that's where we intend to, it's a 3-year roadmap where we will use the genomic surveillance to first detect and then develop it into diagnostic regions of the pathogen genome, which will be used for preventive and diagnostic purposes, that whether if an individual has particular mutations or a particular pathogen, how do we identify or catch those individuals which may have a severe form of the disease at later point of time. And that's where we intend to be over a course of next 3 years. Thank you.
Raj. Thank you so much, Rajesh. IGB has been a fantastic collaborator through these years. In the past and more recently since COVID, we did the Gandhi dataset, Gandhi Hospital COVID dataset project jointly with IGB. And since then some more, and now we are launching yet another project. So request Dr. Hemant Gautam, Director of IGB, to share his thoughts.
Good morning, sir. Honorable Minister KTR Ramarao-ji, IIIT Director Narayan-ji, and other dignitaries on the dais and the audience. The work micro lab starts when the COVID time. You just imagine that everything was closed. Only IGY was working, particularly Dr. Rajesh lab, 24-hour working, and the seed was grown there and fruits come out today. So for this, I thanks to Telangana government and IIIT who believe us the technology, what we can do. So the technology we have developed during the COVID time is a time consuming, very quick methods to identify the bacteria, virus, any places. So sir, this will help you for your agriculture department, for your health department, anywhere, any microbes comes. If unable to identify, this technology we can identify within 6 hours. We can tell which antibiotics, what is the things, what is the new one. So this is the application. Same application you can apply for the agriculture also. So anytime, if I wish pandemic should not be there, but this is a natural way, so pandemic comes anytime, anywhere. You just give a call. Within the 2 days, we will tell you which microbes is there, from where it is coming. We will also tell the source of microbes, where is coming, and what could be the harmful for the future time. So you can plan, the administration or other official can plan how to inhibit the growth of microbes, how to kill the microbes. So this is the technology which will help for the general people. Second things, during the COVID, we face the transport, collection of sample and transport. So we don't have any person everywhere where we have a doctors or nurse, they can take the samples. So for this technology, you can take everything with 2 or 3 your people, go to the particular village, collect the samples, do data analysis there. Everything can do the room temperature, because these guys all night working, they simplify the protocols for the bacteria, the virus, and we are I proudly say the best in not India, in world also. We have published many good papers for this, and this is thanks to Telangana government. I hope that if anything you face problem anytime, just give a call. Our team will be there, microlab team will be there, and within 2-3 days, everything for microbes, any disease, any new microbes, either comes USA, China, we will tell this comes from here, everything we will tell, and we will tell the possible remedy also. So that way we can help the government. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rajesh, for working day and night.
Thank you, sir. So the state has been an amazing partner, and in this all initiatives today, we're working closely with TSRTC, we're going to be working closely with government hospitals, and of course, we've been working very closely with IT department, Ramadev ma'am. I now request the Executive Director of TSRTC to share his thoughts on the project. Sir Vinod Kumar, sir.
Respected Minister for IT, KT Ramarao Garu, and other dignitaries on the dais. First, very good morning to all of you. Before I just proceed on the subject, I would like to brief on the functioning of TSRTC and about TSRTC. See, TSRTC has a fleet of 9,376 buses, over 99 depots, covering almost 32 lakh kilometers per day and carrying 48 lakh passengers per day. TSRTC has been recording lowest track record of accident rates in the national level. The factor is 0.07, that is the number of accidents per lakh of kilometers is 0.07, which is the lowest at the national level, and we have been bagging safety awards over a period of years. This we could achieve right from the recruitment level. There is adoption of stringent procedures for drivers, then vigorous training after recruitment also, then regular refreshing trainings, regular monitoring by safety driving. So we have safety driving stress at every depot who take care of the driving habits of the drivers. Then drivers are subjected to periodical medical examination once in every year. 100% of the drivers are covered for the periodical medical examination. I would like to place before you that our analysis on accidents involving with TSRTC buses. In this financial year, a total of 151 accidents have taken place so far, and 65 accidents with 43% was involved with two-wheelers, 39 accidents with 26% was involved with pedestrians and cyclists, 13 accidents with 99% was involved with four-wheelers. Further analysis on causes of accidents revealed that 74% of the accidents were due to collision from rear. It is comprised of 30 and 23%. Due to road crossing on the highway, busy roads, 23 accidents have occurred with 15%. Head-on collisions, 19 accidents have occurred with 13%. And overtaking the buses or other vehicles, 18 accidents with 12%. And wrong side driving also, almost 16 accidents have taken place with 11% of the total accidents. The accidents eventually result in loss of innocent lives of passengers, other road users, and sometimes even the drivers of the bus. Accidents shatters the dreams and progress of the victims' families. Not only this also causes damage to the properties, mainly the buses, and we are forced to pay huge compensations in the form of, for the accident victims. It's annually around 50 crores we are paying every year. I would like to mention that it is a fact that the latest technologies are evolving for greater safety benefits on the road. The latest vehicles today have driven assistance technology which helps to save lives by preventing accidents. Though TSRTC maintains lowest track record of accidents rates on the national level, we are committed to reduce further and bent upon to reach zero accident level. The government of Telangana through IIIT and department proposed to undertake artificial intelligence for road safety in TSRTC in partnership with Intel INI under project iRaste. TSRTC is very thankful and especially to our Honorable Minister. This project will definitely help TSRTC in further achieving its objective in reducing the accidents to a great extent. Artificial intelligence powered solutions can enable aspects of vehicle safety, mobility planning, and road infrastructure management, and hence a significant impact on safer mobility and transportation systems in Telangana. Being a stakeholder in road safety, TSRTC has agreed for implementation of artificial intelligence for installation of ADAS and ADAS devices. Data from other pilot projects have shown that 50 to 60% of the drivers have shown significant improvements in driving behavior with the ADAS devices. 14 RTC buses have been already equipped with ADAS devices and are under observation. These buses are plying mainly on the highways Hyderabad, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Vijayawada, Hyderabad, Adilabad, and other routes focused on both state and national highways. Further, it is also planned to equip around 200 buses the same devices, and mainly on the national and state highways. The proposal is also to equip buses with driver monitoring system solution. While ADAS cameras are scanning the road condition, DMS cameras are focused on the driver to detect conditions like smoking, drowsiness, and talking on the mobile phone, etc. After the observation is over, to establish the driver's baseline performance, alerts are turned on and monthly performance report are compiled for all the drivers. On behalf of TSRTC, I thank the government of Telangana, especially the Honorable Minister for IT Industries and the ITEC department in making TSS one of the partners in implementation of this prestigious project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I mean, we can't do this without TSRTC. I think it's a key element in the project. So thanks for all the support from TSRTC, Sajjanar sir, and your officers. Again, we get always, as an institute founded by the state and IT department being an anchor department for the institute, we always get phenomenal support from the IT department, specifically from the emerging technologies wing. So Ramadevi ma'am has always been a great source of support. Ma'am, your thoughts on the project? You can talk from there if you want.
Honorable Minister Garu and other dignitaries, a very good morning to everyone. In fact, today morning I was a bit nostalgic. You know, it was a surprise, shocking I would say, when my iPhone threw up a picture, you know, with Nivruti ji and Minister Garu shaking hands. And that picture was taken 3 years back in 2020, 2.5 years back, 2020, Jan 2nd, when our Honorable Minister launched the year of AI. So that was really, you know, powered by AI. It was really surprising as well as, you know, shocking. Like, how did, you know, Google or whatever that software knew that today both of you are meeting and we are having this, you know, launch event. Well, that happened in 2020, you know, that year of AI, which was attended by the industry, academia, and foundations. It was a spectacular gathering, you know, Nivruti ji and PJ and Garu were also there. The entire ecosystem was there, and they, offered the support and solidarity for our AI journey. Well, since then, you know, we have made significant strides under the leadership of our Principal Secretary Jayesh Ranjan Garu, who could not make it today. Though COVID had its impact, you know, on our initiatives, but nevertheless, there were some very good initiatives that we have undertaken. And this was possible because of the rich pool of partners that we have, you know, Intel, IIIT Hyderabad, IIT Hyderabad, World Economic Forum, UNDP, and so on, many more. Well, we undertake a broad spectrum of initiatives covering the entire ecosystem. So from project implementation to, like, we are deploying solutions in the agriculture sector that improves the yield for our farmers. We are actually sourcing solutions to grand challenges that will preserve our ecosystem, the endangered species, you know, improving our climate conditions. We are also skilling our youth through various programs, through our organization called TASK. We are at the same time, and most importantly, the RevUp Accelerator we have set up in partnership with NASSCOM, which has about 80 cohort of AI startups. Well, it's a broad spectrum of initiatives that we are undertaken. While we are working on these initiatives, we are also laying the foundation for AI. Again, as many of you know, data is the oil, data is the new currency, the core of AI. We are actually creating data sets, about, you know, 15 critical data sets in agriculture that will be made available over a data exchange platform that we are actually setting up, which will be available to all the researchers, you know, startups, companies that are developing solutions, anybody, you know. It's just not the government data sets that will be available over the data exchange platform, but also anybody, startups, or it could be research institutes, anybody can host their data. It's something like a stock exchange, you know, where people can exchange data over that platform. It's a very, you know, it could be a game changer for the AI ecosystem. While we are all doing these various initiatives, but today's launch is very special to us because the projects that are unveiled here are very unique in the sense they're population scale projects that can be replicated or implemented, you know, across the country. And also it's supported by consortium of like-minded partners, you know, that are present here today. IRASTE, again, I thank all the partners who have been supporting the IRASTE project, especially Sajjanar sir with his entire team. They've actually offered the support. Uber for generously contributing to this project. Mr. Siraj is here representing Uber. Thanks to IIT Hyderabad again for making this out. And special thanks to Varma and Rushita, who have been working, on ground, putting everything together. So give them a big hands up. Well, this is an important milestone to us in our AI journey. In our AI journey, we should further accelerate our pace of AI journey. Thanks to one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, so just in the last month, or last 2 months, we had the privilege to host Sajjanar sir and his whole team for a brainstorming meeting. Just a week ago, Sri Dana Kishore and some of the senior officers from Water Supply Board were here for a meeting. And a few months back, Commissioner Stephen Ravindra sir and his team were here for brainstorming meeting. That was on how can we use cameras on the roads, AI powered solutions for effective policing. With Water Supply Board, we are talking about setting up a water center of excellence to help to see how can instruments and models help with the whole water situation. No, that is hers is more around lakes, sir. These are measuring water, so that's proceeding as well. And of course, Ajana sir was here with his whole team. This one project we're looking at more also with him. And of course, Ramadevi ma'am has been in the middle of all of these conversations, anchoring this. We are very excited about many of these threads, sir. We hope to see some good results and outcomes come in the coming months and years. So thanks again for all the support, Ramadevi ma'am. Now, of course, Ramadevi ma'am referred to Uber. Uber has been again a great support and also funded the project, which is very important. So request the Uber head of safety, Suraj, to please share his thoughts.
My warmest greetings to all the dignitaries here today. It is truly an honor to be here today with the Honorable Minister and this illustrious consortium of industry, academia, and research institutes who have pioneered the adoption of digital technologies, accelerating India's commitment to road safety. We at Uber are privileged to partner on this cutting-edge project, which will further enhance road safety in Telangana and also be another step forward towards the Government of India's vision of achieving 50% reduction in road safety fatalities on Indian roads by 2030. The project will also provide momentum to states across the country for further technological interventions on road safety. At Uber, we stand for safety, and we believe that technology can play a major role in overcoming safety challenges and are vital to making our cities safer for its citizens. Our team is focused on developing new technologies, improving investments in customer support, and partnering with community leaders to improve safety in every city where we operate. We at Uber every day are working hard to make sure that every trip is as safe as possible and people can go from where they have to go to where they want to go safely. We know that the work of safety never stops, and we can and we will always challenge ourselves to always be better for the communities we serve. Very recently, with the use of our technology in partnership with and under the guidance of the Hyderabad police, we integrated our SOS signaling system within the Uber app to the police control rooms in Hyderabad. Additionally, our vision correction initiatives to provide commercial drivers with free eye care to ensure safer driving are also underway in Hyderabad. Through this initiative, we hope that we'll be able to reach out to thousands of commercial drivers and embolden our commitment to safety. We also are extremely appreciative of the extensive efforts of the Emerging Technologies Wing of the Information Technology, Electronics and Communication Department of the Government of Telangana for developing a conducive environment for growth and development of novel technologies in the state. We thank you for giving Uber an opportunity to partner with this initiative. Intel and INAI's contribution to technology-led solutions for road safety is unmatched, and the prospect that this project also holds is extremely valuable. Intel has very well recognized the potential of technology solutions leveraging AI, ADAS, IoT, and data analytics on road safety and are creating impact at scale. In the end, I would like to say that safety is of paramount importance at Uber, and I would like to assure this esteemed consortium of our continued commitment in supporting to the best of our ability all the initiatives by the Government of Telangana to boost road safety in the state. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Suraj. So one of our startups is using cabs, sir. They're piloting in Delhi right now. They're going to start here also. Using just 300 cabs, they're able to model real-time blockages, which Google gives little delayed. using computer vision. It's a very interesting startup. They're using cabs in Delhi, Uber also. So, so with that, we come to the finale, the final segment. Intel has been a phenomenal partner. A lot of what we are doing, PJ and Verma refer to the India Driving Dataset project, which is till date the only public dataset available for any kind of autonomous driving or safety-related work for India. A lot of groups having private data, but it's only public data set, heavily cited, heavily referred. Professor Jawahar's work, Anbu sitting there with Jawahar and Anbu have collaborated on this. Intel has been funding us for that project and beyond for several years now. And so when Kishore and Nivruti came to us saying like we want to do bigger, we're already happy with the support, and they came to us saying they want to do something much bigger. So we had a few rounds of discussions, we identified what we could do, and then met with Minister Sir end of December, where he was immediately supportive, saying like, count us in from the government side. And so the Intel support is probably one of the most significant support we have got. Of course, we value all the money that comes, the financial support, but more importantly, there's a lot of knowledge support that we get from Intel, and the leadership support, no less than Nivruti herself, Kishore, who heads all the innovation research. Both of them spend a lot of time supporting us. So request Nivruti to share her kind of thoughts on this whole journey of collaboration.
Very good morning, everyone. Really honored to be here and share the journey we've had with you over the last so many years. So, Honorable Minister, all my dignitaries and friends on the stage, as well as all of you attendees, I must tell you our journey began 5 years ago. We started working on what's called India Driving Dataset, and it was a small group of people, us, along with Professor PJN and Professor Jawahar. And I must tell you that since then, my engagement with IIIT Hyderabad has been phenomenal. I can tell you they run at the speed of Intel or even faster. No longer, thank you. I'll tell you, there were times when people will say, oh, government is so slow, you know, government is like a dead weight on my neck. They'll say, academicians are 5 saal mein dekhenge, 10 saal mein hoga, you know, things like that. Professor Jawahar and PJN are not like that. They run fast with us. With that India Driving data set, we've had thousands of researchers leveraging. And you know, just for a little correction based on what you heard is, it's not just Indian researchers who are counting on this open driving data set, it's global. So we're creating global value. Yes, data is oil, yes, data is, but this is the value we are seeing, you know, happen around the world as well as in India. So this happened 5 years ago. 3 years ago, we established our design center in Hyderabad, and we are leveraging that. We have, you know, Verma, who's, you know, fully here working on this applied AI research center. So 3 years ago, we established our design data centers, and then subsequently, we established the first and only of its kind applied AI research center, which we call IIIT. Thanks to Professor PJN and all our partners who enable this. 3 focus areas, what I loved hearing is health, smart mobility, and education, and that perfectly aligns with Intel India's vision, and that's why, you know, we are working in perfect tandem. Sometimes I even forget, is this an IIIT resource, an Intel resource, a IIIT Hyderabad resource? We work that much in tandem. We are each other's extended team. Professor PJN and I were just talking, we were talking about semiconductors, and it's wonderful to see his thinking, how he's aligned with, you know, what India's semiconductor plan should be, and I really am going to count on him to help me with that. So this was our journey so far. I'm really happy to tell you that over the last few years, as Intel and many partners have done a few pilots across 4 states, Telangana being one of them, and we realized that with those kind of pilots, we saw 40 to 75% collision reduction on the roads. That gave us tremendous hope and possibility that the death that India sees, all of you know, 17 deaths would have happened in 1 hour in India across the country, and 60% of them are on highways. So we thought this is an amazing area to focus on. Technology is the cheapest way if we could save lives. We then went into Nagpur full-scale deployment, and we had 1,000 kilometers, urban roads, 1,000 kilometers evaluated, and let me share with you some data. that data showed me in 50 kilometers, I will expect one gray spot. Gray spot means likely an accident could happen. Infrastructure issues, driver issues, lighting issues, vehicle issues, could be anything, but one gray spot in 50 kilometers. Honestly, I drive 50 kilometers in 2 days just to go to work and come back. So likely that I will face an accident every 2 days. If your driver is saving you, thanks, kudos to the driver. So 50 kilometers, one gray spot. We saw in Nagpur. Now let me tell you what happens in Telangana. Telangana has 30,000 kilometers of highway, national and state. You saw the pictures. Also, 24,000 accidents, collisions that are happening across the state. If we take 60%, which happens on highway, that tells me 15,000 accidents are happening on Telangana highway, state and national. And I told you 30,000 kilometers. Tells me in every 2 kilometers of Telangana highway, there's likely one accident per year that can happen. That's the impact to you and me, who have our lives, so much of our lives on the road. So therefore, Professor PJN and many of our partners, TSRTC, thank you Uber, that we are embarking this evaluation of how can we save lives on our roads in Telangana on the highway by announcing this project, I Raste for Telangana. I really think this will give us tremendous understanding of not just looking at what are the gray spots, fixing the gray spots. I really challenge KTR, sir, to take the responsibility once we know these are the gray spots in Telangana, how to address. And not just him. What's our responsibility? Who are the partners? How can we address the road condition in such a way that the infrastructure is better, the gray spot become white? So each one of us has an onus. The leader is KTR, sir, but what can we contribute? Who are the partners who want to work with us? Number one. Number two, so all are excited about Mangal Gyan and the landing and this or that or not landing, whatever. I'm really excited about life on this earth. I'm really excited about how can we address the challenges we are seeing every day. 2 days, I save myself out of a gray spot. If I were to count on the Nagpur data, which I believe Nagpur has much better roads, Bangalore has much worse, so we have to fix all of those. Both Gyan, both is intelligence, whether it comes artificially or naturally. Both Gyan is a car platform, much more improved than what we've used so far, because it has night vision capabilities through LiDARs, radars, back-facing cameras. So in addition to IDD, now with this both Gyan platform, we'll have tremendous amount of understanding of how to fix road issues, how to address collisions by giving our driver a warning, and also how to improve our vehicles with smart, ADAS gas-like algorithms. So both Gyan is a tremendous platform that we are going to be working on. Lastly, all of us, I was so happy to see PJN live in front of me rather than, digital image. We've all had our challenges with the COVID. Many of us have scars on our soul because we lost so many of our family members. Technology for health, in my view, is the best implementation. Technology for life, whether it's saving people on the roads, young people dying, or addressing all of these viral mutations. COVID is just one of them. Do you know that we have only identified 5,000 viruses, and there are hundreds of thousands of viruses, all over the world, and maybe outside of the world also. So it is always essential to keep, yourself looking out. And I think technology is, again, I call it, technology is the cheapest way to help our lives. And therefore, we have what is called genomic surveillance, leveraging technology in partnership with our health expertise. And I really look at Telangana to be the leader in this space. So these are the 3 launches we are making today, counting on your strength, whichever way it comes, to partner with us and translate into value for us, our lives, and our children's lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Nivruti. I'm sure we'll see a lot more happening in the coming years. So with that, we are now ready for the launch. I request all the dignitaries on stage to join Minister Sir for the launch. We're going to do an electronic launch, sir. So we're given the rain and everything. No, it's coming, sir. Yes. Lights on.
India has one of the largest road networks in the world and is emerging as the fastest growing network. With more vehicles on road, safety is now crucial than ever before and is a major developmental issue and public health concern. To help address this, Government of India is aiming for a 50% reduction in road fatalities by 2025. Artificial intelligence will act as a force multiplier to transform road safety engineering and prevent accidents before they happen. Project IIIT Telangana is a unique partnership of industry, academia and the government and is initiated by Government of Telangana, TSRTC, INAI, IIIT, IIIT Hyderabad, Uber and Intel. Project IIIT brings in a holistic safe systems approach to aspects of vehicle safety, mobility analysis, infrastructure safety. Join us in a mission to reimagine road safety with the predictive power of AI. Project IIIT Telangana, intelligent solutions for road safety through technology and engineering.
So that was the first project. Now, sir, request you to press the button one more time to launch the second one, soft launch. So there's a car, sir. We have it outside. We didn't want to go in the rain, but maybe we can just drop by just before you leave. So that's the data collection platform, sir, that Nivruti was referring to. The third one is physical. So we're unveiling the plaque. The lab is in the other room, other building. So we're just going to unveil the plaque, sir. Please, if you can. Thank you, sir. Sir, if you don't mind, we would like to hear from you now, sir. Now the moment, I know all of us, many of us are in this room just, at least I for sure am one of those, waiting to listen to what Honorable Minister has to say. I'm sure you'll have some very interesting insights. Sir, we're all yours, sir.
Thank you, Ramesh. It's always a pleasure coming back to IIIT. Thank you, PJN. I've been coming here for the last 8 years, and PJN doesn't invite me anymore. I also have to tell you. Either he's too bored with me or I don't know. Is there a problem that we need to talk about? I'm glad we got that. Sorry?
You'll be here every week now.
Okay. I'm not doing any guest lectures, but nevertheless, I'm not competent enough. So thank you, PJN. Thank you to the entire family of IIIT for having us, for always, welcoming us, for being so warm. In this cold weather, I think we all need it, so thank you very much for that. Nivritti, thank you for all your support, for your unstinted backing of the mission, or the Telangana Artificial Intelligence Mission. We spoke about it a few years ago, and then since then you've been really driving this along with other partners. Thank you very much for your unstinted backing, for your wholehearted support. Suraj, we all know Uber's commitment, like you said, to safety, and also to the city of Hyderabad, because your second largest campus in the world is right here in Hyderabad, and I do keep, I keep thinking, I keep imagining that whatever you do in days to come again, you will be doing it in Hyderabad. And thank you for being a part of this. Rama Devi Garu, who's leading our emerging technologies wing, ma'am, you've been a terrific leader. Thank you very much. Of course, to Hemantji and also Vinod Garu, who's representing the TSRTC, I thank them also for their support and for their backing. Now, one thing that I'm reminded of today, when I listen in to all the amazing things that technology can help us with, is what Honorable Chief Minister keeps telling us. Each and every time, either myself or Jayesh or one of us tells him about this fancy new technology that's in town, or fancy new technology that is around the corner, he always has only one question. He says, listen, I'm not a technocrat myself, I'm not a technologist per se, but what is it that this technology can do in terms of helping the common man, helping the man on the ground, in terms of the societal impact? Kya karega ye technology? Ye batao. That is what he keeps saying. And today, when I'm really delighted, I'm excited, to basically be able to answer, some of those concerns. I'd like to thank all of you, of course, for inviting me to the launch of this IIIT. The applied research being undertaken by IIIT is certainly helpful for not just Telangana, but for the entire country as well. And also, of course, to keep Telangana in the center, and to keep, to ensure that Telangana remains the epicenter of these efforts. I would, of course, congratulate IIIT on, PJN was just joking. He was saying a lot of people confuse the names, IIIT and IIT. Which one of us should be taking it as an insult or a compliment, is what he said. I think you should take it as a huge compliment, PJN, because Indian Institute of Technology, was conceptualized as a premier institute. The fact that IIIT Hyderabad today is rated much above many IITs in India is a great compliment. And I could hear the pain in your voice when you said we are self-sustaining. And I could also hear the pain when you said the government only gave me land, nothing else. I promise you one thing, he was just whispering in my ear that he needs some support for quantum computing labs that he's setting up. We will support you fully. I will assure you. I will ensure that you get that money that you require to do a nice quantum computing facility right here. And when Nivritti was mentioning, that ye government hai, dheere hota hai kaam, she was talking about Karnataka government, not us. Trust me, that's the government, that's the city that she lives in. So she was talking about them, not us, right? Sahi. Because I also was listening in very carefully when she said road safety and all. She said Nagpur mein roads theek hai, Bangalore mein worse hai. She didn't mention Hyderabad, so I'm guessing we are somewhere in between. Right, Nivritti? Somewhere in between, pakka. So all in all, I think what I really liked about what was mentioned earlier is how technology can be used, leveraged to save lives. Essentially, that's what it's about. I mean, save lives, improving standards of living, improving our urban infrastructure, improving our road safety, ensuring that we do things right. I mean, ensuring governments improve their standards of functioning, so to speak. And as we all know, Gartner's 2022 CEO survey also indicates that AI is the top priority for business leaders for the third year in a row. In fact, back in 2020, when Government of Telangana had declared 2020 as a year of AI, little did we know that COVID was lurking around the corner. But we had a very ambitious agenda. But nevertheless, in fact, we went through the whole year doing multiple AI events, and Intel was, of course, a key part of many of those events. So AI and how it can be leveraged for the benefit of each and every person in the society. It could be a farmer, it could be a technologist, it could be a doctor, it could be somebody else. Everybody, in fact, can use AI, and in fact, COVID has also shown us that AI and the power of AI and how it can really help even the governments is something that we have truly appreciated over the last couple of years. Since AI acts as a new factor of production, Niti Aayog estimates that AI is expected to raise India's annual GVA growth rate by 1.3%, resulting in an addition of almost $957 billion to India's economy by 2035, which is 15% higher gross value added, which is GVA is obviously, as many of you would know, is a very close approximation of GDP. So almost 957 billion being added. You know, we keep hearing about the 5 trillion economy. I think 957 billion coming in from the power of AI is a huge, huge potential for India to latch on. And every state in India, irrespective of what our challenges are, has to latch on to this opportunity, has to ensure, as Nivriti was pointing out, has to aspire to be the leader in terms of adoption of these technologies. Realizing this economic potential of AI, Telangana became the first state to initiate a focused effort with the launch of AI framework in 2020. Under this framework, we've launched number of programs, and we've been playing an active role and have been playing the role of an enabler for the AI ecosystem. We had set up the Telangana AI mission, called as a TAIM, a dedicated institution in partnership with NASSCOM to drive all AI initiatives in the state. In fact, Nivriti is also a member of TAIM, which is a governing council, and has been offering strategic leadership as well. A very important initiative of TAIM has been the Rev Up Accelerator, which is currently supporting 80 plus MVP stage AI startups in a bid to generate unicorns over the coming years. Since availability of skilled manpower is critical to the growth of AI ecosystem, the government has also taken up skilling programs for students and faculties. AI, ML, deep learning, etc. All of these are being done in association with corporations like IBM, Intel, Microsoft, and NASSCOM Future Skills. Over the past couple of years, around 25,000 plus students and 4,500 plus faculties have been trained in such programs anchored by Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge, TASK, which is a government entity. Now, the government is also further ambitious this year and seeks to train at least 100,000 youth in high school in foundation AI courses, and would be glad to partner with Intel under its AI for Youth program. Now, data, as has been mentioned, is at the core of AI, and McKinsey actually estimates that digital transformation in agriculture alone could unlock $70 billion in Indian agriculture sector. Therefore, the government has also initiated focused efforts on data enablement in agriculture. We recently released an agriculture data management policy to enable protected sharing of both personal and non-personal data. Since Government of India's Personal Data Protection Bill is yet to become an act, the ADMP fills this critical gap with the goal of agri-tech innovation and development of custom solutions for the state of Telangana that would benefit the farmers. We have also initiated the development of an agricultural data exchange, which could be a game changer, that allows the easy and protected and secure sharing of all agri-related data, duly taking the consent of the data owners. The innovators shall be able to easily test and build their solutions on top of the data access through ADEX. Let me just give you a fascinating example of what data can do. In my constituency in Sirsila, we have a remote village which is possibly about 165, 170 kilometers away in a tribal habitation, a place called Veernapalli, which is now a Mandal headquarters, which has recently been recognized as a block headquarters, but it was actually a village. You know, about 4 years ago, my honorable MP, the local MP, then it was Mr. Vinod Kumar, he had adopted Veernapalli. So we had traveled there, in fact, using his MP funds. He had set up a very interesting facility, a small facility where he wanted to use technology for the benefit of the farmers. In fact, he had consulted a technology company, which again, of course, was using AI even 4 years back, in trying to help the farmers, understand the pest and help them understand the soil fertility, etc., etc. So we were there to inaugurate the facility, and these were all farmers who were possibly not so literate, possibly semi-literate, if you ask me. So we were there, myself and the Honorable MP and a bunch of officers, we were all there. So just like how we did today, we took a remote, we clicked the remote, the television set opened, and then there was a website which we had to click open, and we were trying to basically navigate through the website. So हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे थे, we were trying to understand how the website, and we were trying to also explain to the farmers how the website would help them, how the app would help them. There were two things, one a website and another an app. When that was the first time I was seeing the website, so obviously I was not very familiar. And I was trying to understand, there was a trainer who was trying to, one of the faculty who was trained there, trying to explain to me, ki agar if you can just click a picture of the pest, it basically, will run through using AI as a platform and ML, basically show the farmer in Telugu what the pest is and what needs to be done, right? So he was trying to show me, he was trying to navigate through the website. वहाँ पे जो किसान थे, जिनको already training किया गया था, they were also there in the room, about 10-15 of them. So the guy who was actually trying to show me the website, he was having a tough time navigating through the website. But this farmer who was standing right next to me, वो कह रहे थे कि नहीं वहाँ नहीं, next window में जाओ, वहाँ से नीचे जाओ, go to the drop down. I was like, wow, this guy really knows what he's saying. So I said, ये आपको कैसे मालूम है? He said, sir, we've been using that for a month or so now. And of course, the formal launch is today, but we've been using it for almost a month, so soft launch has already happened. And he was actually guiding the trainer कि आप यहाँ जाओ, यहाँ जाओ, यहाँ जाओ, फिर वहाँ जा click करो, फिर जाके आपको वो आ जाएगा. So I was zapped. I said, what is your formal training? What did you study? He said 10th or +2. He's not somebody who's very well conversant in English. He's not somebody who really understands a line of code. He's not somebody who's possibly trained in any kind of AI or AI module, or he knows nothing, I'm sure, about ML. But the fact is, when a farmer, when he sees value in the product that is being put out in front of him, and when he understands the power of leveraging technology for his benefit, I think they'll latch on to it very, very quickly. The beautiful thing about India and our citizens is, when I was in the US, when I was doing my masters there, and when I used to come back to India to visit my family and friends, I always used to be amazed because वहाँ हम लोग मोटे-मोटे वो मोटोरोला वाले और नोकिया के फ़ोन सेट यूज़ करते थे. 98, 99 की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. When I was there, 99, 2000 possibly. So we used to have these, वहाँ पे Verizon, वहाँ पे क्या AT&T के बाकी companies थे, और वहाँ पे they used to bundle those packages. The telcos there used to bundle services and offerings, and they used to offer these big mota handset. So as a student, obviously I didn't have money, so I used to buy one of those nice handsets, the big one. But when I used to land in India and come and see my friends here, they all had these sleek handsets. I was like, what is happening? America तो थोड़ा हमसे ज़्यादा अमीर है, तो ये लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? यहाँ पे मतलब the point I'm trying to make is, Indians have always been good. India as a country and the citizens have always been good when it comes to adoption of technology. If we realize the value, right in front of our eyes, especially my generation, which is witness to the telecom revolution. For those of you who are born after 2000, you would not understand what I'm saying, but prior to that, I'm sure PJN would understand. There was a time when to get a landline connection at home was a huge, humongous task. It was an achievement of sorts. I remember a time when घर पे अगर phone नहीं होता, and those of you who speak Telugu will understand, PP बोलते हैं, पक्किंटी phone. You have a phone in the next door neighbor, so whenever you give out your phone number, you would give it out as PP, right? So to get a phone was a task. You needed an MP's recommendation letter. You needed to go to the BSNL, do a nice, ego massage there so as to get a phone connection, and then eventually the phone set would come. You would pick up every day if you're a kid, if you're enthused about a new phone at home. You would wait for the ringtone. It's not happening. You remember, for those of you who are possibly from my generation, you would also remember trunk calls. We used to call the exchange fellow. There was only one in Hyderabad, I think Lagdikapul, which is where it is, even now. We used to call them, book trunk call to Sangareddy, booked trunk call to Karimnagar, etc., etc. But see what has happened right in front of our eyes. The landline is gone, it's passé now. Nobody wants a landline phone anymore at home. After the telecom, sector has been opened up by Government of India, the kind of revolution we have witnessed right in front of our eyes. Today, each and every one of us has at least one mobile phone for sure. Some of us have two, some of us have three. Pegasus and other things, do take a toll. So all of these things, that have come in right in front of our eyes, how technology has really transformed our lives in terms of communications, in terms of being able to be in touch with what's happening across the world, etc. And all the other technologies that have revolutionized the way we think. COVID was a great example. We've seen, some enterprises which have shown the world that you need not be in a small town or a big town to be able to work from home. You could even be working from your village. As long as technology and as long as connectivity is there, I think you're fine. As much as we love, as much as we would love to believe that technology is a great leveler, it is also a fact that it's a great connector. I mean, it really connects people of all strata. It really connects people of all hues and shades across the world. Helps you learn from each other. I think that's the transformative power of technology which Indians have always been good at adopting. So the whole $957 billion value that AI can bring in by 2035. I'm very passionate about it because I think it will not only have a transformative effect on the people at large, it will also have a transformative effect on our economy. It will also help India adopt better. It will also help India propel itself into the league of first world countries sooner than later. Our Honorable Chief Minister, like I said, always reminds us of this. He says, "Kya fayda hai isse jo tum technology ki baat kar rahe ho?" Whatever you are mentioning to me right now, what is the point of it? When I tell him about T-Hub and startups and the whole startup culture, he always asks, what is it that you guys are going to be able to do to help the man on the ground? And that is the fundamental question that we need to answer. Today, I was smiling because I remember a day about 6 years ago when a large American company had come to me. I would not name names. They said, we have this cool technology which is going to give you an alert. As municipal minister, as urban development minister, you need to know how safe your roads are, how the lane discipline is being followed. So if somebody abruptly cuts into your lane, I can send you an alert to your command control center. I smiled. I said, no, why don't you give me an alert when somebody is actually coming at me in a one-way street? He said, why? Why would you need that? I said, welcome to India, welcome to Hyderabad. That's how we live. It's organized chaos. So point I'm trying to make is, I thought, I've said this before and I'll say it again. India cannot merely ape or copy what's happening in the West. A solution that would have worked brilliantly in Los Angeles or in New York or San Francisco will not work equally well here. We need solutions like IIIT, where TSRTC, where our local faculties, our local researchers, our local companies have to work together. We need our own solutions, our own recipes, because our challenges are different. We don't have the same exact challenges. We don't exactly have the same set of problems. So therefore, I'm delighted, thrilled that we will be able to save. Mr. Vinod was mentioning that they spend about 50 crores in terms of compensation payments annually, which is 4 crores per month. This is a huge number for a loss-making corporation, which a corporation which is still in losses. I think this is the sort of technological interventions, disruptions that we really need to ensure that our entities become safer, our citizens' lives are saved, our corporations are benefited, and our people at large and our society at large is also helped. We have also, in fact, launched something very interesting in the agriculture domain, because more than 50% of our population depends on agriculture still. Our flagship project using AI is called Sagu Bagu. Sagu, as you all know, is basically farming. Bagu is good practices in farming. We're doing this in tandem with World Economic Forum, wherein various emerging technologies, including AI, are being deployed on ground in a PPP mode. And we believe that we'll cover about 50,000 plus farmers in 2 years. Under this, agri-tech players are also helping boost farmer incomes by deploying various solutions such as sowing window advisory, irrigation, soil nutrition advisories, etc., that help the farmers adhere to best practices and solutions like digital market connect, digital quality assaying, etc. Now, agri-tech projects that we have undertaken are delivering promising results already. For instance, AI-based pest management solution that was deployed in partnership with Vadhvani AI across 6 districts of Telangana to solve the pink bollworm menace for cotton farmers, which is a rather a horrendous problem for cotton farmers. The impact study undertaken by EY indicates up to 20% of increased profits, resulting from a mix of increased yield and lower input costs. So as long as you're able to give good advisory to farmers on the window in which they have to actually sow the seed, to what kind of efforts they have to put in to ensure that the soil fertility remains good, and also soil health remains good, and most importantly, how do you do pest management? I think a combination of all this will really deliver the much needed knockout punch, if you ask me, in terms of improving their farmers' income. Telangana has also become a very, very interesting example with the implementation of a unique RTDAI, the real-time digital authentication of identity system, deployed across several citizen-facing services. In fact, I say this very proudly. I get messages, and I don't know how many of you have used it, but Telangana is possibly the only state in the country where you can renew, not get a new one, but renew your driver's license sitting at home on a Sunday. This is the only state which allows you to do that by authenticating your digital identity in real time. Now, that is something that is truly important from a citizen's perspective, because it saves you from the hassle of visiting an RTA facility. In 21-22, about 1,20,000, which is about 40% of our pensioners, availed the live certificate through RTDAI, and 90,000 citizens availed the services of transport department through RTDAI. Now, what has a pensioner got to do with this? A pensioner has to submit, to avail pension continuously. Every year you have to basically go to an office, visit, and ensure that they understand that you need to receive pension and you need to receive your benefits going forward as well. Now, that at this point in time in Telangana can be done by using the RTDAI, the real-time digital authentication. Now, today when I stand here, I'm glad to see that IIIT's projects are focused on building AI solutions for population scale. I think that's the most important point, because whatever solutions that we come out with, for a large country like India, unless they're scalable, unless they help the large majority of the population, it would just remain a lab experiment. The micro labs is a highly unique initiative that shall bring genomic surveillance for the communicable diseases to point of care. Therefore, to bring the lab to brings the lab to the people. In fact, when one of the speakers before me was mentioning that data-driven drug discovery is the order of the day, I think it was you, sir. I have to tell you, Novartis, which is one of the largest pharma companies in the world, has about 9,000 people in Hyderabad, and they do precisely that. They do digital drug discovery. In fact, it's their second largest facility in the world. And they're not, in fact, they're right here in Raidurgam, very close to where you are. They're not a pure play R&D facility here. They employ a lot of biostatisticians, bioinformatics, people who are experts in bioinformatics, and they do precisely this. They do a lot of simulation, they do a lot of data-driven analysis, and have been able to come out. In fact, according to Vas Narasimhan, who's the CEO of Novartis, each and every time I meet him, he always tells me how his center in Hyderabad is at the center of everything, literally. Now, the broad genomic surveillance for communicable diseases and the development of AI-enabled models for preemptive surveillance for susceptible subgroups is an extremely important area. Hyderabad, in fact, I keep saying, on a lot of forums, Hyderabad is that city where biology meets technology, where artificial, data sciences meets life sciences, where Mangoverse meets Metaverse, where North of India meets South of India. So Hyderabad is that melting pot, which you could really leverage in these points of intersection. Information technology is an extremely strong area for us, and so is life sciences, so is biology. So a combination of this is what Novartis does, and in fact, I've been pitching this to a number of other pharma companies. Some of them have shown interest, and I'm very confident that these points of intersection where technology can really help a lot of enterprises, I believe is something that will really propel, in terms of providing an opportunity for a lot of youngsters who are seated here over the next 1 decade or so. I'm delighted that Bodhyan is also, as a platform, has taken off, and it shall go, a step further in building the critical data sets in mobility that are required for the Indian driving conditions. Grey spots, black spots, even if we are able to save a few lives a year, I think it's a huge achievement in itself. The advanced mapping using cameras, LiDARs, night vision cameras, radars shall help develop robust solutions that can be used to leverage human error-induced accidents. We're already looking to leverage the outcome data set to host a mobility-related grand challenge under T-AIM and build solutions for India and also save lives. The iRaste, as I was mentioning, will be deployed in about 200 RTC buses, TS RTC buses, and I'm confident that it will not only save lives but also help the corporation and also help the drivers as well. While there is an obvious direct benefit of alerts which can be sent to the TS RTC drivers and the management and to even Uber. I appreciate Uber partnering in this. I'm glad that the road network shall also be mapped, which I think is very, very important. And the data collected then can be used for dynamic risk assessment in terms of what are the challenges and what need to be addressed. I congratulate the entire team who's seated here, Nivriti, Intel, Rama Devi Garu, Suraj from Uber, Mr. Vinod from TSRTC, to the entire team of IIIT, of course, led by PJN. I'm not mentioning all of you individually. I hope you don't mind. I think you're all represented here by your director. And I'm very confident that under your leadership, sir, that this mission will really go a long way and become a role model for the rest of the country. So thank you very much for once again having me here. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. I think just your talk has given us a lot of ideas in terms of what we should be taking up in coming years, especially in Agri. We had some good conversation with Ramadevi ma'am and the VC about a year back. And like it's kind of paused because some other priorities have come in the way, but I think we hope to revive that soon. That's one area we haven't been able to do much. We really want to do a lot in Agri, but the opportunity hasn't presented itself, though there have been some very good conversations with the government and the university. We hope to kind of get the chance to do some of that. Otherwise, thank you so much, sir. I think government always been a phenomenal support, always, and especially in this initiative, last 5-6 years, because what we're doing, we're very keen that we want to do it for the grassroots, so healthcare, and whether it's healthcare or education or livelihood, Agri, they're all like very closely. We have to work with the government. So, and we've been getting good support from all the departments. TSRTC is here today, and of course Ramadevi ma'am facilitates a lot of this. So thanks again, sir, for the amazing support we get from your good officers and the whole government team. So with that, we come to the end of the launch event. I would like to thank everybody that's been part of the event, everybody that's been part of the initiative. Intel, Nivriti Roy, Kishore, Anbu, and others from Intel have been a great support in this initiative. IGB has been a fantastic partner. Like I said, sir, we started working with them closely during the early days of COVID. We're doing the COVID dataset, first dataset exercise at the Gandhi Hospital. So that's when we started working with IGB, and since then there have been multiple initiatives. So very good relationship with IGB. Would like to thank TSRTC, Sajjanar sir, and Vinod Kumar sir, and the whole team for the support that they've offered to this initiative. And of course, Uber. Like we can't do, yes, from the beginning we said we needed a third partner for all kinds of reasons, financial support and also like the knowledge and domain support. So I think Uber is one of the best partners we could have expected. So thanks to Suraj and the whole Uber team for being part of this initiative. And thanks to our professors, Professor Jawahar, and others that are involved with this initiative. And of course, Anbu from Intel is quietly sitting there. He's a phenomenal force as an architect in Intel who's been very involved with this effort from the beginning. And Verma, who leads the efforts, sitting here on the ground. He's part of us. He has a IIIT email ID. Nivriti, we take a lot of pride in that he has a IIIT email ID. So, and the whole team of iHub, INI, both the centers, large teams now, sir. in very short time. Between the two centers, I think we have almost 30, 35 people working full-time, apart from all the research groups. So thanks to the whole team, and thanks to everybody. I'm sure I missed several people here. Of course, thanks to Professor Deva. Deva leads the effort academically, the whole large applied AI effort that we have. It's one thing to get the funds. PGN always challenges us saying, like, if we get 100 crores, are we capable of meaningfully spending it without building buildings? And I think Deva and Verma are showing like we can. And so I think we'll do more. We started the Rajadi Center recently, sir. Again, the intersection of the education, healthcare, and the grassroots, working with NGOs. So that's another area where we work closely with the Applied AI Center. So good initiatives. Thank you so much. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to all our faculty, our staff, our students, our research centers for being there always. I think what we do is only because of all the research that happens. So thanks everyone. Thank you. There are some refreshments on the back side. And sir, if you have a few more minutes, we would just like to show you the car as we head out. Thank you everyone. Thank you and have a great day.